Because when you talk about black Indians, we're talking about indigenous people who appear to be black in our categorizations of race. You have indigenous people, American Indian people that became part of the black community through slavery and colonialism. You have African people who became part of American Indian communities because of colonialism and slavery, or escaping that, along with Europeans and people who were mixed that chose an Indian identity because that was the lifestyle more of what they were akin to or gravitated towards. You understand? So it's that complex. It's not just this story, this narrative of runaway slaves found refuge amongst Indians, and Indians. That's oversimplification. And there's other thing where people come and say, we do this because of Buffalo Bill's Wild West. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. And there's scholars who publish this. I know these people who publish this stuff, and I've talked to them, and I told them to their face it was bullshit. Because it's documented before Buffalo Bill's show came here. There were also Lakota people coming to New Orleans and people traveling from here long before that, 1890s, okay? And people masking Indian for Carnival long before that as well. You understand? So the way I see it is the people who mask because that is in their spirit to do so, because that is how. So the people who are more have this spirit of resistance within them gravitate towards these things now. But the history of it comes from, how do I identify myself? How do I preserve my identity when I'm being told to wear a ruffle shirt, huh? And knickers, right? And a wig, huh? Right? To appear civilized, or to wear a tie and Puritan colors with the white collar and dark charcoal gray or dark blue suit is Puritan colors. That's Pilgrim colors, you see? And loud colors are sinful, and this, that, and the other. So all of these things it's not just resistance, it's also medicine. There's also a healing our mind, healing our spirit, to remember the things that, to remember those that don't want to be forgotten, and to remember the things and to carry the history that's not recorded. I've been doing research on all this stuff my whole life, both as an individual and as a educated social scientist from the University of Chicago. But it wasn't until I met Chief Elwyn Gillum Warhorse that I began to recognize that my theory and the feeling that was within me my whole life was validated. That there are indigenous people in this area that are black, and they're not Africans. And they built pyramids and mounds in this area thousands of years ago, and they're still here. So some of those people we see as black, African, slaves, that's a meta-narrative. That narrative doesn't fit everyone. But even those people found a kinship and affinity in terms of their worldview with indigenous people. And, that's why that story is of the people coming together to make one people, you see? The essential part is not race, it's not color, it's not the appearance of the person, it's not race. Culture is a way of life, you see, which is rooted in a worldview. So the people who, wherever they are, in Europe or in Asia or amongst the Americas or throughout Africa, the African diaspora, or Asia, or Australia, the people who live in harmony with the land, who understand and respect the forces of nature, who respect life, whether it's human life or their own life, or trees' life or fish's life, you know what I mean? They have a certain way of life, you see? And that way of life is more common and dominant throughout the world. But the people who dominate the world, wherever they are, whatever color they are, whatever language they speak, whatever ethnicity they are, whatever race they are, whatever religion they claim, whatever belief system they uphold, or ideology or governmental system or whatever system, shit system they put forth, if they use people for their subsistence and don't respect life, human life or organic life, then that is the other way. And so but those are the dominant people of the world with the white collars and the dark suit and red tie and the blue tie. Wherever they are, the wig or the ruffle shirt. Yeah.